Now we'll draw the infra diagram. So there will be one region like US West or something. I'll be having one region. Okay. In that region now, what I will do now, I will have one virtual network. Okay. I will call it as VNET, and I have to give some CIDR. I will give 10.0.0.0/16. This is the CIDR. Like why will give this CIDR as private now? If you see, this CIDR will be private. So any logical network, whatever you create in cloud, right? Everything will be private only. It won't be public. Okay. For the instance, whatever you want to log in, for that only they will provide the public IP. For rest of the networks, whatever you create, no, everything will be a private. So in that I am deploying one. I am deploying one subnet. Okay, where I will host my application server. Can you go on mute, please? Okay, this is my subnet one. In this subnet, it will have some CIDR. I will give some CIDR like 10.0.0. Okay, 10.0.0/24. Okay, this is my CIDR, and it is having some application server. Okay, and it will be having one public IP. This is the public subnet.
Sorry,
It will,
Vikram, for disturbing. Yesterday only we are repeating or any
yeah,
new
yesterday
one?
only reporting.
I'm disconnecting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
yesterday lab we had some issue, right? I'm repeating the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks.
And this is the subnet too. Okay, and it has some CIDR 10.0.1.0/24. Okay, now it is hosting the DB server. Okay, this is one topology. My architecture can be something like this. Okay, whenever the request comes to this network, no, it will go to this particular VNet. From there, it will go to the application server, and application server will have the JDBC connection to this uh, particular instance where the DB server is present, and it won't have any public IP. It will be private only. So no one will put your DB server where the customer data or some data is there, right? They won't put it in the public. They will host it in the private. Okay, now we will go to the lab. Now I will go to resource. I will go to some resource group. I'll create a new resource from here rather than selecting from there. Okay, so I'm creating one resource called demo1. It is in US East. Okay, and now I am selecting the virtual network. I will show why I have created my resource from here. Okay, so next I have to go to virtual network. In my diagram, my virtual CIDR is 10.0.0.0/16. Okay, now I'm clicking on virtual network. Okay, I'm taking something like demo1 is the resource group just now which I have created. Now I'm creating something like VNET underscore demo 1. Okay, next here I will be selecting the CIDR. By default it is assigned with 10.0.0.0 by 16. So total it will have something like 65,000 IPs. Okay, 65,000 addresses or machines it can host. Now when I come to here, no, here by default some one subnet is created. Okay, this one can be like public, and what I'm trying to do, right, I will be in one shot I can create both. Okay, I will be adding the second subnet as well. Okay, in one go I can create the two subnets. So I'm clicking on the second subnet. Okay, uh, db subnet. Okay, and this range is 10.0.1.0/24. Okay, now I am not going to select any NAT gateways and services endpoints. Okay, let it be like this. And what I will do, right, for it is default, and I will change the name as application server.
For every virtual network, one default subnet will be created or
Will be
what
automatic.
like that.
Yeah,
But
here
yesterday,
it will be created. It will be created by default.
okay, okay.
Okay. Next, I'm going to security. I'm not going to change anything. Not going to change anything in tags. Review and create, and clicking on create. So basically in AWS, right, nothing will be created. So no auto population will happen. If you create any in a virtual network or any VPC, you will be having everything blank. You have to provide the details. But in Azure, it will provide with some 10 series IP. Mostly people will be using 10 series, so it will auto populate with this. And even the subnets also we have to add manually. Okay, now two VNets I have created. This is the subnet 1, subnet 2. So sorry, sir, two subnets we have created. This is subnet 1 and subnet 2. Now I will be launching my instance in subnet 1. Okay, so currently, right, both are yeah, both are having 251 IP address. One more point is like Azure will reserve the IP address start on like .1, .2, .3 and .255. Okay, so whenever you create an instance, right, that's why it will start with .4. Okay, any instance whenever in a subnet, right, first IP will be assigned as .4. Okay, first three will be like used by Azure itself. Those are the reserved IPs. Okay, now I will create virtual machines. Okay, here now what I'm trying to do now, I'm trying to create a application server in the subnet 1, which will be having public IP. I'm creating everything in demo 1. Okay, application server. Okay, I'm not going to change anything. I will use the password. Okay, so I'm creating a test user and I'm providing some passwords and I am enabling the SSH port. Okay, if I want to log in, I need to have this SSH port. That is mandatory for me. With if I don't select this now, I can't log into this machine. click and oops. Okay. Yeah, not an issue. So I'm selecting the same disk. Okay, I'm not going to change. In networking now, here I'm selecting the VNet demo one and I am selecting the application server. There are two subnets which are available for me, out of which I am selecting the application server subnet. So here I'm creating in my application server and it should have the public IP. Okay. So here I am, instead of choosing none, no, I am choosing the new application server IP. So it will be assigned with an IP address. Yeah, no more changes. I can click on management, next, next, next. Okay. Okay. So the initialization is happening. The instance is being created. The deployment is in progress. So whenever the instance is created, now what it is trying to do, right? It will create some infra, like some public IP address, some security groups, and some disk, everything. No, everything will be grouped under this resource group. Okay, whenever you delete these resource groups, right, at all the resources pertaining to this, like VNet or subnets, everything will be deleted in one shot. So normally, right, whenever you create an instance, sometimes what may happen, right, you may try to create, delete VNet, or sometimes you may delete one subnet, sometimes you may forget to delete some instances, no. So if you want to delete complete infra in one shot, no, you can use this resource group and delete. Okay, then all the resources that are spinned under this demo one will get deleted. Okay, now my instance is created. I'm going to this resource. Okay, and it has got some public IP. Maybe you have to wait for 5 to 6 seconds because sometimes, right, it will throw error. Okay, so I'm giving my public IP. So now I have created an instance and I have logged in. Okay, I am present in this one. Okay, now what I have to do now, I have to create, I had one more subnet where I don't have an instance. Okay, I have to launch one DB server over here, one instance, and I have to log in this. Okay, for this, right, it won't have any public IP address. It will be private, means externally I can't log in. The only way is like I have to log into this application server, and from there I have to log in here. As I mentioned, no, even in one VNet, in virtual network, even all the subnets can talk to each other by default. Okay, that is the default behavior. All the resources present in the one particular VNet can talk with each other. That it would be the default behavior either in AWS or in Azure. Both has the same behavior. Now I'm creating the one more instance. I will be selecting the resource demo one and I'm naming it as the DB server. I'm not going to change any stuff. I will give the password. Okay, so this is the username and this is the password, and I'm clicking on next. In disks, I'm not going to change anything. Only we are bothered in this networking tab. Okay, in this networking tab, I have to select the which VNet I want to, virtual network I want to create this instance. I'm selecting this VNet demo one. Okay, here it is by default, right? It will show up the first subnet, but I want to create the this instance in the DB subnet. And here public IP I should mention as none. Means for this instance, no public IP will be assigned, so I can't log into this machine directly. Okay. Now I can go, and here for logging into this machine by default I need to have this SSH port, else I can't log into this machine. If it is a Windows, right, I can use RDP. Because I am launching the Linux instance, I am using SSH. The port is 22 for that. Clicking on management, next, next. Yeah. The deployment is in progress. Let's wait. Now my resources are created. I'm clicking on go to resource. Okay. Now, if you see, right, I'm getting the public IP empty. In my prior instance, if you see here, no, for this DB server, I'm getting the public IP address empty. Means I can't log in. Okay, I'm only having the private IP address 10 series. Okay, so as my public IP address is not there, I can't log into this machine. Okay, if you see, if you go to the other machine, if you go to the application server VM, here I'm having this public IP. So normally I have used this IP to log in. Okay, I have logged in to this IP. Okay, haven't logged in using this one. And if you see, as per my subnet design, my virtual machine is being allocated with 4, because 1, 2, 3 are reserved. Okay, the IP allocation will start from 4 and it will increment. Okay, for in case of DB server also, you see, like public IP is blank and I'm having from 1.4. So what I will do, right, I will copy this IP. Okay, I want to log into this machine. Currently, I am here. I have logged into this machine. Okay, and I am present here. From here, I have to log into this DB server. So SSH -x test user at. Now, if you see, right, I am in the testdb server. Got it? Now I am present here. Okay, in a virtual network, if I want to log in from my application server public subnet, I'm able to log into my private subnet because this subnet won't have any public IP address. Okay, see, IP space here. I am getting 10.1 series, 10.0.1.4, 10.0.1.4. Okay, if I do an exit, this connection to this series is closed. Now I am in my application server subnet.